Hey guys, what's going on? Orange Joni here playing some more Minecraft today. Hope you guys are having a good day. I know I'm having a good day. Always having a good day, guys. And my eyes are going crazy again. Yep, that's right. That's right. Those are the stupidest eyes ever. Like, really? Alright, anyway, guys. Yep. Having a great day, having a great day. So, we're over here by the chickens because I wanted to show you I did a little bit of an upgrade. Oh, yes, that's right. So, we have that is right, all the diamond chickens, okay? So, I decided that we weren't making enough diamonds, okay? And we really needed to make some more diamonds. So, how are we getting diamonds? We're getting diamonds from these chickens, and we're literally not getting diamonds from anywhere else, okay? We actually did make some diamond seeds, but we only made one. And I guess what I could do is set up a farm over there, and make a whole bunch of diamond seeds, and get it that way, and then get the diamond essence and craft the diamonds from the diamond essence. But we already had two diamond chickens, and they were kind of lonely, and I just feel like why not? You hear what I'm saying, guys? I mean, you hear what I'm saying? So, oh, excuse me, guys. I didn't mean to cough. I was gonna just keep them inside their pen right here, but I had so many inside this little bitty area, they were literally glitching through the wall right here, the cobblestone wall, into the other pens. So I was like, all right, we ain't gonna be able to keep them in here for too much longer. So what I went ahead and opened up the gate. Oh, lag. Okay, went ahead and opened up the gate right there, and just let them free. So now we have free range chickens. All right, free range diamond chickens. We also made a whole bunch of Yellorium chickens. All right, so now that I've shown y'all the Yellorium chickens, y'all might understand why we need all of these diamond chickens, right, guys? So for some of y'all who know where I'm going with this, but oop, I just got 3 Yellorium right there. I don't have my magnet on, so I shouldn't be picking up anything. The item collector should be picking them all up. But yeah, guys, we need a bunch of Yellorium and we need a whole bunch of diamonds. And for those of y'all who don't know why, this is going to be why right here. Yep, I decided to go ahead and make an extreme reactor because that was one of the things that we need to do on the list. Actually, one of the things that we need to do on the list is to make let's see. We need to make a couple things from this mod, actually. We need to create a passively cooled reactor from the Extreme Reactors mod, and that's what this is. This is going to be passively cooled because the diamond blocks are going to be in here, and the diamond blocks are going to be cooling the reactor. This is why we needed all those diamond chickens for all these diamond blocks. This is just over 3.5 stacks of diamond blocks, if I remember right, something like that. That filled this up. This is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 7 by 15 big reactor. Okay, now this is not the biggest big reactor. Excuse me, I keep calling it big reactor. It is actually called extreme reactor. Yep, that's right. To the extreme. All right, reactor. This reactor can actually get to 32 by 32 by 48, and that is one of the achievements right here. Create the maximum size reactor, okay? And then also, if we come all the way here to the back, one of the other achievements that we have to do is use diamond blocks to cool a max size reactor. So we're gonna need all of the diamonds, we're going to need all of the Yellorium, and that's pretty much the two big resources that's going to be put into the max size big reactor, guys. So, what else do we have to do? We have to make the passively cooled one, and we also have to create an actively cooled reactor, alright? Now, I've never created an actively cooled reactor. I had to do a little bit of research, but we're going to have to make a turbine in order to do an actively cooled reactor. So, what we're going to have up here on top of this reactor, this one's just going to power us for the moment, because if we come over here and look, we are not producing enough lava for these 5 generators. I could have made 2 more, but we're constantly out of lava right here. None of these tanks are ever being filled up with lava, and these generators can make up to 5,120 RF a tick. Okay, well, currently right now we're not even getting 6, 7,000, 3,000 to 4,000, depending on how much lava is in those tanks, right? RF a tick. Now we're using a good bit. We're actually, is there any way to like, oop, nope, I didn't mean to do that. That's sending out, right? Out and in. Okay, alright. Don't want to mess that up. I wish there was a way to show, oh wait, maybe this is it? receiving 13,000, in between 13 and 15,000. Well, what does this one say? I wish there was a way to show. Okay, yeah. So we're getting in between 15 and 20,000 RF a tick, and we're using in between 13 and 15,000 RF a tick. That's why this number keeps fluctuating here and there in between 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. So, and by the way, we are 1.126% full. All right. So we need to fill this draconium battery right here, guys. So that's why I decided to go ahead and make this reactor. Okay. I could have made it bigger, but I kind of wanted the 3 wide walk space in between all around and everything like that too. So that's why we're going to do it right here. The max size big reactor, we're saving this space right here to go ahead and build the max size reactor. Is going to be huge, guys. This is literally going to be huge. 32 blocks by 32 blocks, about 48 tall. Oh my goodness, that's going to be huge. So, oh yeah, and then this one's only like 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 tall. So this isn't even close to becoming as big as possible. But okay, as you can see right here, for those of you who don't know anything about the big reactors or the extreme reactors mod, it literally is the same thing. It was called big reactors in 1.7 version of Minecraft, but this is 1.10 that we're playing on right now. So it literally is the same mod. It has all the same coding. I'm pretty sure it's by the same author as well. They just changed the name, okay? So what we need to do is we need to make a bunch of these reactor casings and a bunch of this reactor glass, okay? The bottom is covered in the reactor casing. And I just filled it up with the outline of the reactor has to be out of this reactor casing, okay? You could use them for like the walls as well, but I went ahead and used the reactor glass just so you can kind of have a little bit more visual. I think the diamond blocks are a little bit nice. Oh, I don't have any glass right here. That's not gonna work. We need to make some glass. We have 17. Can we make some more? Let's make another stack, because you know we're gonna have to make a big reactor, like a really big one eventually. So let's go ahead and fill this in. But yeah, like I was saying, I think the diamond blocks are a little bit better visually than the reactor casing. So that's why I went ahead and just decided to make all of the walls out of the glass. So we have the glass. In the middle right here, I left us a 1 block spacer in between all the outside, which you don't have to do this. You can put some of these reactor controllers right up against the side right here. That's no big deal. It does make the reactor just slightly cooler if you have the space in between the outside, and it might make your fuel slightly more efficient. All right, but I mean honestly, it really doesn't matter because we're generating so much of the resources. It really doesn't matter that much, but I just kind of do it just because that's what I like to do, okay? And it helps too to have like a space in between. That's why we went ahead with this checkerboard pattern right here. This will be the most efficient, and it won't necessarily cool it the best because what would be the best to cool it would be to take this middle row out kind of and have like the whole each one of these like completely surrounded by a diamond block. That would be like the most efficient cooling, but this really works. It works just fine, so we don't have to worry about it. So we have the reactor casing outlined, the glass for the windows. It really doesn't matter. We could have used the casing, like I said. We need the controller right here, which I'm going to put the controller in last. The controller is right here, but it needs to go in this little slot right here, and it's going to become the multi-block structure whenever we finish with that. So we're going to need somewhere to insert the fuel and exert the spent fuel that is being used by this reactor, okay? So underneath each one of these reactor control rods is, oh no, did I not put any? Oh no, they're there. It just looks like they're not there. Okay, reactor fuel rods, okay? So you need these reactor fuel rods from the bottom of the reactor, not all the way to the bottom, just to where the reactor casing is. You can see right here the reactor casing. This is like the bottom level of the reactor. So we're just going to go ahead and put these up right here. Come on. There we go. Alright, all the way up until we get to the top row, and then we put the reactor control rod on top of that. And this is where the fuel is going to go in to the reactor at, okay? But this is actually where the fuel goes in, but this is where the fuel is being used up inside of the reactor, is in these fuel rods, okay? These reactor control rods. So, these are the same block. They look different because one's yellow and one's blue. That's because one is inserting and one is outputting, okay? So we're inserting right here. We're going to insert the yellorium. Let's go ahead and look up some yellorium. Yeah, 2 L's. There we go. All right, so we have 4,600 yellorium blocks. We're just going to go ahead and put this into the exporter slot right here, and this is going to start to export yellorium ingots into the big reactor right here. We're also going to put a few speed upgrades in here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. To go ahead and just speed up the process and put the yellorium ingots in here quicker. We don't need it after it is completely full. We just kind of need it just to start off at the beginning right here. And then this is the export. The only difference is you just kind of click this, the outlet mode, instead of having the inlet mode. That's all you do right here. You just inlet, outlet. You see how like the arrows changed in the background right here? Alright, so this is going to be inlet and this one's outlet. And we have an importer, and it's going to import the spent fuel, which the spent fuel is going to be, I think it's called cyanide reactor. Yeah, this blue stuff, cyanide ingots, okay? So we're going to need to get some cyanide ingots because in order to build the turbine to make the actively cooled reactor, we're going to need some plutonium. And to make plutonium, you need 8 cyanide ingots. So we need to have a passively cooled reactor first in order to make an actively cooled reactor. Okay, and then last but not least, we're going to need one of these redstone flux power taps, okay? This is where you get the power out of the reactor and into wherever you need it to go. So I went ahead and put one of these flux plugs. It is going to suck out the power and send it into our big battery, guys. So let's piece de resistance. Let's go ahead and plug in our controller, and bam, there we go. Our multi-block structure is complete in there, and we are experiencing a bit of lag. I'm noticing straight away for some reason. Is that because the yellorium is getting filled up right now? Are we having problems here? There we go. Alright, now the yellorium is full in here. Okay, because if we go ahead and look, actually I'm gonna break the glass, and I'm gonna break the diamonds right here too. Oh shucks, you don't see it. Okay, let me just put the glass back and you'll be able to see it. Alright, you see how inside the rod it is yellow? That means that the liquid yellorium is now full inside of all of these rods. So that's like a visual thing to kind of show y'all. But because we have the diamonds kind of filling up in all of the area, you can't really tell that the yellorium is in there until you go ahead and open it and break it up. So that was the lag. There's like a slow little visual that shows it slowly expanding inside of the rod, and it's a lot of block updates, so that's why we was lagging. So we are now 100% fuel. This is the interface for the reactor controller. We have a lot of stuff going on right here. This is where it shows you how much fuel is inside. You can still run the reactor with like 1% fuel. It's just not going to run as efficient, or it's not going to produce that much power. You really want to keep this full to the max as possible. You can also change how much of the fuel is being used right here. With this right here, you can increase the insertion of the fuel, and you can reduce the insertion of the fuel. I like to just run it at 100% all the time to make as much fuel as possible. I mean, to make as much energy as possible. But by lowering the fuel intake or the fuel usage by each control rod right here, you can adjust the different temperatures of the reactor, which that's what these 2 gauges are, and it'll also adjust the fuel burn-up rate, okay? And that's really how quickly the yellorium is used up inside of the reactor, okay? Honestly, I don't care that much about that stuff. I just want it to produce as much power as possible, so in order to do that, we just leave everything to the max, and it will just go ahead and do it for us, okay? But if we're kind of low on yellorium, and we're kind of looking to do it as efficiently as possible, we can go ahead and start playing around with all of that. It'll take some time, but that is how you do it. So this will tell you the core temperature of inside the reactor. This will tell you how much energy you are producing inside of the reactor, the fuel burnup rate, which I just kind of went over, and this is the fuel reactivity rate. So this is going to be how heavily irradiated the core is. Higher levels of radiation reduce fuel burnup. So you want to have this at a higher rate because it lowers the amount of fuel that is being used. So we are offline. To go ahead and put it online, we're going to go ahead and click this arrow right here. It's going to activate. It does have an internal storage energy buffer of what is that, 10 million? Is that 10 million? Yeah, that's 10 million, okay? But we're not going to have any energy stored in here at all because it is getting pushed out and sent directly pushed out of here and sent directly into our battery. So let's go ahead and click on it right here. We are using zero point 0.5 millibuckets of fuel per tick, which is kind of a lot actually, but I mean this is a good size reactor. It's really not that bad. Our fuel reactivity is kind of high. It's pretty high, but it's good to go. We are kind of hot, but we're not maxed hot. It could get hotter, but that's good. Like I said, we can go ahead and play around with those fuel rods up top on top of the reactor to go ahead and lower the temperature down a bit. But honestly, this is no big deal, and we are producing 32 right around 32,000 RF a tick, which is pretty cool, alright? Now, these numbers will always be fluctuating because yellorium is constantly being pushed in and out of the reactor, so there's not always a complete, like the same amount of yellorium that is going to be in the reactor at any given point in time. You see the numbers are moving right here with fuel and waste. That's why these numbers are always going to be moving as well. So, but 32,000 RF a tick, that's pretty good. That is actually pretty darn good. We should be 36,000 RF a tick. All right, cool. So filling up this reactor has now become a little bit more reasonable. It's still going to take quite a long time, but 30,000 RF a tick is a lot better than what we were doing, guys. Alright, so now we just have to wait until we start to get some cyanite. I wonder if we got any yet. Did we get any? Cyanite? We have one ingot, and we actually have one... Can we... Is it... Wait. How do you make cyanite dust? Cyanite dust? I don't even know how to spell this. Cyanite dust? Oh, okay, so you can get it from a crusher or through a sag mill. Okay. Alright, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take a cut really quickly, get some cyanide going, and then we can start with the passively cooled reactor, okay? So, and I think my dog is actually asking me to go outside too, so I'm going to have to make a cut really quick, and then we can get the cyanide, and then I'm going to get the turbine. That's going to be the next thing I'm going to build right here is going to be the turbine. So, yep, guys, I'm going to bring our guys back in just a minute, okay? Alright, hey guys, welcome back. So, we got our reactor going on right here that we're going to hook up to the turbine. I went ahead and built the turbine. I think this is like a really cool multi-block structure that Extreme Reactors or Big Reactors has put into the game. So this is a pretty good little animation right here that is going on inside of the turbine right here. So let me give you a quick rundown of what's going on right here. Okay, I also made another big reactor right here that is passively cooled. This one, you remember, is actively cooled because it is being actively cooled from the water and the steam coming from the turbine right here. So I made two identical turbines to go ahead and show y'all the difference what passively cooled and actively cooled does to power, like what it really does. Okay, so what we're going to show you here is the big difference between actively cooled and passively cooled is this block right here. Okay, it is the reactor coolant port. Okay, the reactor coolant port, we have 3 of them right here, and this is just different because this one's exporting instead of importing, okay? So we have 2 of them in the back importing water, okay? And we're getting water from these sinks, okay? And y'all know that these sinks just constantly produce water. It's like having an infinite water source right here. So we got these pressurized fluid conduits extracting water out of here. Also, this line comes all the way over here because this turbine actually has a byproduct or like... it exports water, and water is not good for the turbine because it needs steam. Well, the steam winds up cooling inside and it turns into water. So we're going to take the water back out and put it back into the extreme reactor that we have over here. So we have the water getting imported into the extreme reactor. That is cooling the system even further because instead of having a RF meter right here, we have a millibuckets per tick. So it is pumping water into the extreme reactor. The extreme reactor is so hot that it is boiling the water and turning it into steam. That's why we have these 2 gauges right here, okay? We are constantly filling this thing up with water and it is constantly making steam, okay? So the steam is getting extracted out of the the extreme reactor from these ender fluid conduits, which this is the same thing as the pressurized fluid conduits. They just do 200 millibuckets per tick instead of these pressurized fluids conduits do 100 millibuckets per tick. So, and we are actually producing 100 millibuckets a tick right now from the steam. So I went ahead and upgraded the cable, so that way it's not maxed out in those other fluid conduits. Okay, so we have the steam coming out of the big reactor, extreme reactor, going over here into the turbine. Okay, and the turbine has turbine fluid ports, one on each side, one for the water and one for the steam. This one looks different because it's exporting the blue, and the red is importing. So they kind of color coded them, the red and the blue and the blue. Okay, so if you do notice, there is no power tap on this extreme reactor. That is because we are producing steam instead of actual power. What does produce the power is the turbine itself right here. That's why on the backside right here we have the turbine power tap, flux power tap. Is it a flux power tap? Okay, yeah, flux power tap. And I just put a flux plug underneath on the bottom because we are producing power, so I might as well just go ahead and grab it, right? So, on the inside, we have a turbine shaft, okay, and we have the turbine rotor bearing on the back. This block is needed to go ahead and connect to the shaft. We also have some gold blocks on the very edge of the inside of the case of the turbine. Because the turbine actually needs some kind of conductive block on the inside, like gold, or I guess copper would have worked, or maybe brass, or I don't know, different ores or materials like that could have worked. Okay, we didn't have to use gold. Each one does a different percentage of efficiency or power gain or whatever, blah blah blah. I really don't know the difference. You would have to go and look up the efficiencies and stuff like that. I just know that gold is a good conductor of electricity, so I just went ahead and put gold on the back of it. Okay, now on the turbine shaft there are these fins right here, or turbine blades, I guess they're called, and that's what spins inside and produces the water. It cools the steam, and the steam pushes the turbine blades and makes it spin just like a regular turbine. Okay. Right here, we can go ahead and look at our interface. There's a lot more going on in here. Okay, so there's a lot of different options. This is the RPMs of the rotor blades. Okay, so if you go ahead and hover over this, it says the rotors perform best around 900 or 1800 RPMs. So, we are actually producing 712. So we're not quite at that 900 or 1800. The problem is that we have too many blades on the inside right here. So this tells you how many blades. It says 8 out of 4. We really just need 4 blades inside of there. So I'm about to go in there and take out 4 blades and see where our RPMs are going to be at that point. We are producing 538 RF a tick right now, which is probably not as good as what this reactor will be able to produce. So let's go ahead and turn this one on real quick. On this button right here. Okay, so as this thing heats up, we're going to see, alright, so we're hovering right around maybe 1300 RF a tick. Yep, I would say it's going to flatline right above 1300 RF a tick, alright? And actually, I'm going to leave this on for just a minute just to make sure that that's what it does. So, we're going to go ahead and turn this thing off, let it power down, and we're going to come in here, and we're going to take out 2 of the rotor blades, because the game is telling us that we do not need them anymore. Let's go ahead and take those out. So now we only have 4 in there, and we're going to go ahead and turn ourselves back on again. There we go. All right. So that should increase our efficiency a bit more. So now it says we have 4 out of 4 blades, and we don't know how many blades we're going to need until we actually turn it on and we start using the power, and it shows us that that's what we're going to need. So you can see right here that this is our steam that we are getting inputted from the extreme reactor, and we also are producing a byproduct of water, and that is getting sucked out. We also have this button clicked right here. This dumps excess exhaust fluids. Excess fluids will be lost if exhaust fluid tank is full. So whenever this water meter is full and the extreme reactor isn't sucking it back in, it is just going to delete the water, because having this water full inside of the turbine actually reduces the efficiency of it. So we are climbing back up to about where we were, the 704, I think, is where we were before. I'm hoping to at least get into the green. So there's this dark blue that is really not good. This is kind of the warm-up stage, and it produces a little bit of RF. This light blue is kind of like the crappy stage, and then there's a green stage that's after this light blue that will actually start to produce more power. So we're only producing 536 RF a tick, while as the big reactor right here is producing, like I said, right around 1300. All right, so we're not quite doing 1300 right now, but that's around about what it's doing. So we're going to remember that number, 1300, turn that big reactor off, because there's no need for that to stay on. And we're going to come over here and see why we are not producing enough power here. Let's go ahead and start to play with some of this. Actually, we're going to decrease. No, that's not what we want to do. What if we increase it? Okay, we're starting to produce a little bit better, a little bit more RF a tick, because we are producing. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, okay. Maybe. Hold on. Wait up. Let's like shift does a little bit more, right? This number is changing. Okay, all right. Maybe I was set too low. Let's see what we could do here. Okay, there we go. 249. That seems like a lot. 200. Okay, so our max that we can pull out is 200. Okay. I'm learning a bit here, guys. I'm learning a bit. I never played around with this before. So we are in between. We are at 900 RF a tick. I mean 900 RPMs. Around 900 RPMs. We're actually going a little bit higher than I would want, because there's actually another light blue stage in between the 900 and 1800 revolutions per minute. So, although this is giving us better than the 500 RF a tick that we were using, once we get to around 1200 RPMs, this RF per tick is going to drop down again, and we need to get up to this 1800 RPMs is what we really need to do. Okay, so I think the issue that we're having is we're not pulling out the steam quick enough. Yeah, because we're maxed out on this cable. So I'm going to have to find another solution to do that. I know we're kind of running long on this video here, guys, but this is a lot to explain, and it's a really fun mod to get into. Here we go, fluid. We'll try these instead, with some pipes, and maybe some speed upgrades too. Let's go ahead and grab some of these. Alright, get rid of these conduits right here, because I really think that these conduits are constraining us, and we're not producing what we should be, because we're not taking out as much steam as we can be. So let's go ahead and drop this down like so. And will that connect? Sure will. Okay. How much steam are we taking out? We're taking out 200 millibuckets of steam per tick without any speed upgrades. So let's go ahead and put in 5, I guess. Let's go ahead and throw in 5 in there. Still 200 millibuckets a tick. Something's not right here though. Let's go ahead and put in like the 20. That like the max amount. Yeah, you can only the max amount is 20. Okay, what we got going on here? Okay, I don't think this is gonna work either. Or maybe it is working. Huh, you know what, guys? I really don't know, but I know we're running out of time on this video. I'm probably going to tweet that this machine, this turbine, is very, very sensitive. I've learned that just by playing with it off camera and trying to get playing with it on camera with y'all too. So the magic number is 1300. That's what we was getting with this big reactor, with the exact same size, the exact same configuration. We have the one control rod in the middle, and everything else is exactly the same. So I'm going to play with this off camera some more, but I think that's going to about wrap it up for us, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry we couldn't quite get the final results in by the end of this episode, but I did a lot off camera and I did a lot of playing around with this. So we're going to get this, and I'm going to show y'all what the difference is with having a turbine and not having a turbine, guys. Having it passively cooled or actively cooled. Yep. So, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If y'all did, stay tuned for the next one, and I'll catch you guys next time. See you later.